welcome to the KTNG Morning Show. Let us begin our day with a small, simple prayer here. Simulcast live on YouTube and Facebook, so here we go. Never with your hands like this. Definitely to make sure you're saving. Most importantly, never like this when you're a loser and a liar, but more so in humility. Thank y'all for my early rising, good health. Well, kind of late this morning. Also thank y'all for the opportunities he places before me, so therefore I may succeed in them at his request and not my request at all. To help those who can help themselves, who cannot help themselves, and to show that self-reliance does work in many practical manners. But also, to our enemies, we must show compassion, even though they deserve a patada in the culo. That's why Jesus Christ to the 227th era to the throne of Jah himself, King Haile Selassie, Jah Rastafari, Jah Rastafari, Jah Rastafari. Vic McNewman, Wu-Tang's in the house, people. What's up? Bam! Join the conversation, people. The dragon of the mountain is up and roaring, which means only one thing. Revolutionists, constitutionalists, rioters, people who paid their taxes and got ripped off. Sammy B, what's up? Good morning. Welcome to the KTNG Morning Show. I can never do this for opera. Oh, Oprah for that matter. Oh, yeah. And I'm looking for a gun. No, keep in mind that this is the KTNG Morning Show, and I'm your host of the most, from the left to the right coast, from the north to the south, the irrepressible mouth on beat. People, follow me if you can. The G to the R to the I to the T to the Z, zesty, all the way on top of the mountain, and underneath the freeway all day. The freak on the peak who's about to speak, and if you open up your mind, I give you something to think about for the rest of the week. As I speak, good morning, truth sayers, truth look is and on look is alike. Want to thank you guys for coming through. Yes, indeed, this is the KTNG Morning Show, and lightheartedly, in socio-political satire, okay, we all, Deborah Coco, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Okay, here we go. You got to press these buttons here. That's the one thing about Facebook. You got to press buttons. Lots of buttons. But I'm here to press a lot of buttons my damn self. Okay? So obviously, we are less than, okay, let's just get right to it. We're less than 24 hours away from a complete government shutdown, and everybody's throwing up fits. Okay? Except for the idiots in the border towns of Texas. Y'all seem to be the only people who just don't get it. Well, let's recap here. First of all, y'all got screwed out of your taxes by 8%. Oh, there's a flurry. Tax scam, tax scam, tax scam. Okay? But remember, you voted for this idiot. Cheeseburger did it out of love. Okay? Alrighty. Rodney Perez, what's up? I'm tagging your butt. What's up, Mr. White? Since you barely watch anything I do here. Okay, anyway, bottom line is this, people. Bottom line is this. My boy Cheeseburger is just straight killing you. Oh, and I do want to thank Seth Meyers for using my hashtag on his show last night, Cheeseburger Booyah, okay? Which means only one thing. Yeah, I'm dead on it, as usual. But then again, y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't want to hear me. Okay? Now, let's get into like the drudgery of it and so forth, because obviously a lot of people don't really understand. They really don't understand why we are going through the crap that we're going through right about now. So let's break it down to brass tacks and shaved balls here, will we? Okay? Wouldn't that be interesting? You take the orange paint off of Cheeseburger and you take that toupee off and he looks like an old bald white man. All right? Yeah, time to shake something up here. Anyway, here we are. Here we are, out of the Daily Beast, and I start this, and I'm going to go through several of my sources here. Keep in mind, these are like individual opinions, and therefore, you have opinions too. That's why we ask people to join the conversation. If you're on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button. KTNG Morning Show under the MushLuv'd by Job moniker. You'll see that. Or leave a comment. I usually address these things at the end of the weekend. Anyway, Let's get down to business, shall we? And I'm going to explain this. From Daily Beast, Congress advances border security bill without the fucking wall. From day one of this idiot's campaign, now, it has all been about a 4-letter word that has been used more than fuck, damn, or shit. All right, come on. The scope of everybody's conversation. Now, for all of you mendicant niggas out there who don't want to think about politics and just worry about your own little scope of the world and so forth, remember, the French say it well, and it goes for everyone. If you're not into politics, politics will get into you. Here's the story. Congressional negotiators introduced legislation late Wednesday night that would fund the Department of Homeland Security and avert another partial government shutdown at the end of the week. The 1,159-page bill doesn't contain any funding. Again, does not contain any funding, okay, for Cheeseburger's beloved border wall. But it does allocate $1.4 billion to construction of primary pedestrian fencing in the Rio Grande Valley sector. Primary pedestrian fencing. It sounds like something you would get in the old folks' home. For real. Senate and House plans to vote on and pass the measure today. Now, the legislation would fund the Department of Homeland Security through September 30th. I love how they put dates on all this stuff. Okay? I'll give you an example. If we didn't get they didn't have any kind of deal and so forth, we were going to be shut down for another 30 days. Who knows? For a longer shutdown. So they come up with something tentative. Now, for everybody that already got their EBT early in February, does that mean that you're going to get your EBT at the beginning of next month? Okay? Now, let's go all the way down to like close to April, where everybody's filing their taxes and knowing that they're not going to get their tax refunds back 8% short. Go ahead, file them now if you dare. See what kind of crap you're going to get back then. Good morning, Prince Malone. What's happening, my brother? Where is our sister, Jackie Bear? Oh, she's sitting over here, bro. Oh, she's sitting over here. I just got the microphone all blotted in the way. Sorry about that. She's in the house. Okay, she's in the house. All right, just in case you can't see her. There she is. All right, there she is. There's Milton right there. There's her. Okay, so now I have to do that. That's my brother. Anyway. Robert, Armil, what's happening? Good morning. Now, they don't put dates on a lot of this crap for when the government runs out of money. Now it's all the way up to September 30th. Okay, the real fascinating thing about this is that no one knows how much money the government has left over. I mean, come on, $22 trillion in debt in 2 years? And yet still we have a booming economy. Somehow, that's an oxymoron like jumbo shrimp. Maybe you get it, maybe you don't. Well, you better at least you have some sort of acknowledgement of understanding this. Okay? Now, this agreement denies funding for Cheeseburger's border wall and includes several key measures to make sure that our immigration system is more humane. Wow. Professor Nigel Daring, good morning, good sir. Ja Rastafari. Now, what does that entail? Okay, from the Hill. And I have to drop Politico because Politico was becoming too biased in right-wing reporting. I look at like 6 of their articles and it was just like, oh, it's the Democrats' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. No. Okay, let's get it straight. First and foremost, if it hadn't been for the blue wave that washed away the red wave of lies, now that we're up to, what is it, 8,459 of them? Okay, and this guy continues to tell like 15 lies an hour here. I mean, good grief. He keeps doing that too fast. We might as well give him, a ticket for speeding. Anyway, from the Hill, Republicans agreed to $1.38 billion in border barrier funding, just 1/4 of the $5.7 billion that Cheeseburger had demanded and then shut down the government over. Republicans also agreed that none of the modest funds in the proposed legislation can be used for a concrete wall. Again, none of the modest funds in the proposed legislation can be used for a concrete wall. What do you think he was building there? A 200-mile mall that has his name on it? Paint the wall. Paint. No, 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 no. As a matter of fact, you're gonna have to do this. You're gonna have to do this Tom Sawyer thing and paint the fence. Paint the fence white, so that way, when people who have had from El Salvador, Guatemala, Central America, since people have had their communities and their countries and their states ratified by the constitutional purpose of the Monroe Doctrine to kill, murder, rape, and else from the Bush administration up to now. Okay? Yes. Yeah, most of my homies came back in body bags. For their part, Democrats agreed to do something that was said was immoral, namely build barriers on the border in case 55 miles of bollard fencing and levees in the Rio Grande Valley. They may have been talking about the immorality of a concrete wall, but it's splitting hairs to argue that bollard fencing is moral, but concrete walls are not. Give Democrats credit for breaking away from the demands of the immigration activists and their base. That's in the Republican base, okay? Now, because these activists are nothing more than squalid individuals of a lesser attitude or a lesser intelligence, I would say, this basically gives the score like this, okay? Give Cheeseburger no credit. In fact, he was a big loser. Here are your points. Here are your talking points, okay? 1, after 2 years in office, he made only minimal progress toward fulfilling his defining campaign promise to build a big, beautiful wall. That's all he was talking about, right? I'm going to build a wall. I'm going to build a wall. You've had nothing but absconded cheaters defraud the public, especially in Florida. Triple amputee veteran who scammed everybody out of 20 mil. Man, he got rich off of your dollar. Dumbass, straight up, okay? From the Pacific to Mexico, to the Gulf of Mexico, including funds appropriated last year from a few dozen miles of new barrier and taking into account existing fencing and natural obstacles. The bipartisan legislation leaves Cheeseburger at least 900 miles short of a sea-to-sea barrier. 900 miles is more than the distance from New York to Chicago. Wow. Number 2, Cheeseburger looks both marginalized and inept. Duh! Come on, the guy's an Adderall, coke, the guy's a freaking chemical junkie, all right? And he'll sit there and he contorts his face trying to form the words, but every time he does, something slips. Cognitive abilities to speak after you have had some Adderall, meth, or cocaine are very evident. You start slurring your words, it's like you're having a stroke in the same pod. Anyway. He looks marginalized because serious people in Washington were doing serious business while he was down in El Paso falsely claiming that the city's existing border barrier reduced crime. Both FBI statistics and the city's Republican mayor refute. The FBI statistics and the Republican mayor, one of your own, refutes the lies. I mean, come on. Come on. What's today's spit? Okay? What's today's spit? Useless frothing cappuccino foam. And that's what he is. Useless. He's got that much male ability. I mean, if anything, he's only doing the incels a favor by being the biggest dotard on the fucking planet. Alright? So, what else do we got here? Okay, now, Cheeseburger looks at him, and you know what I'm talking about Cheeseburger. Alright, I'll do this once. I do it every show, so if you haven't heard it, here it goes. The man with the small hands. The man with no plans. The plan is a plan is a plan. I don't understand, man. You know what I'm saying? Damn. The man who has the PP tape that escapes. You know, your master in chief in stress and mess. Commander of beef. That man who needs to do more than sniff Adderall and smoke a lot of Keith. Cheeseburger. Straight up. All right. So, Cheeseburger looks inept because last year he rejected a bipartisan Senate agreement that would have provided more funds than the $1.3 billion. As a matter of fact, it's 1.6. You have 5 point. What's 5 minus 1? 4. Okay. Now also add the points to it and everything. So, in other words, for the $5.7 billion that he did not get, he dropped 2.5 mil on the floor. Like it was nothing. Like, you know, like you seen the, you know, the meme clip of him like leaving the umbrella outside of Air Force One because he didn't know how to fold it up. God. Okay, now, this is not exactly the quote-unquote art of the deal. This is just a mess this man continuously makes and does not want to clean up behind his ass. Sorry, but there's no, oh, that's right, he had to fire all of his illegal immigrants from working out of his golf clubs. Okay, well, since he don't have no maids to clean up behind him, I guess Melania is basically Miss Bigfoot is there to clean up behind his fat, lazy ass. Anyway, let's see. In the bipartisan legislation, not exactly an art of the deal. True, he might claim a modest victory on the esoteric issue of detainee migrant bed math, but the money shot here was that four-letter word. Wall. Wall. You spell wall spelled backwards is law. L-law. Okay? L-law, hell. Okay? Hella law. Okay? Alrighty. Okay, now number 3. Cheeseburger's badly boxed in by bipartisan compromise. Yes, indeed. If he signs the border security legislation, conservative provocateur and culture will impugn his courage for agreeing to what she calls a yellow New Deal. The yellow New Deal was the one on the PP tape. Okay, come on. He likes a German Shepherd and everything. I don't see any reason why a German Shepherd could pee all over your damn bed and you can roll up in it. But then again, if you want dogs to go to Russia, they do it for free. If he vetoes the bipartisan legislation and shuts down the government again, he will need to build the wall around the White House because everybody and their mama will be coming after that ass. For real. If he declares a national emergency, border funding goes to the courts for a lengthy delay, which means no wall to show for his supporters in 2020. Plus, he alienates influential Republicans in Congress. Those are your talking points, people. Those are serious talking points. Let me give you something else on this love day that we got going on here. Oh my God! Oh my God! So for all these unrelated things that are happening, we're like, you know, looking at some of the more heinous things and the reason why Cheeseburger loves his populace. He loves his people. He's giving them everybody a great Valentine's Day screw over or a makeover, however you want to put it. Amazing. Contract workers' back pay is sticking point on government funding bill. About a couple of weeks ago, I broke the story about how the Republicans were not going to pay any of their contract workers. Now, Republican lawmakers don't like back pay scheme for the federal contract workers who missed paychecks during the government shutdown, and it's holding up a broader deal on spending and border security. Again, did I not say if the government could find some kind of way, if Cheeseburger could find some kind of way to take money from the average Joe, he would build that wall, and he damn near did. But why pay anybody that's a federal worker? Why pay anybody in the government? They don't deserve a paycheck. Maybe out of sheer kindness, Cheeseburger goes out. No, let's not just bash the man to death here, but maybe he might just find it within his heart to actually save these people's credit ratings so they don't lose their homes, their cars, and they don't wind up living next to me. You know, the happy and happily annoying black man. Okay? Congress has already approved back pay for 800,000 federal employees who missed wages during the 35-day partial shutdown that ended last month, but not for the unpaid workers who were employed by federal contractors. Democrats, led by Senator Tina Smith, have been pushing legislation that would allow federal agencies to reimburse contractors that pay workers who missed checks during the shutdown. So, again, if you are a federal employee, you have a contractor, and they are working because you know you're going to get your back pay and you don't pay them, who does that look bad on? It looks bad on the people that run the company, right? Who's running the damn nation? Okay, anyway. Not only was Tina Smith involved with this, 2 Republican senators, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Susan Collins of Maine have co-sponsored Smith's bill, but Republican leaders aren't going along, so they don't want to pay nobody. What is this for? Why is this for? Ernest Franklin, what's happening? Good morning, my brethren from Texas. How's it going down there in Texas right about now? Of course, you know, needless to say, that Bricky showed up, okay? It made a spoof out of the whole thing. It was funny. I'll play it later. Anyway, she goes on to say, I don't think we should, at this moment, let it get in the way of funding the government on Friday. Senator Roy Blunt, a member of the Senate GOP leadership team, told HuffPost this week. But a Trump administration official familiar with the legislation said that the process of implementing the proposal alone could cost as much as the actual payment to contract workers that there would be a high risk of erroneous payments and fraud. Really? So you mean to tell me the government doesn't want to pay its contractors, okay, which will basically send what is known as a very strong stench of foulness in people's nose. You know, you get that stink face with something like that. Now, think about it, people. Federal contractors who work for the government could go from being snitches all the way to farmers. Got government subsidies to do farming for the government. Look at Simplot. That's where your French fries come from. They're also the same people that put that baked ass hash brown thing in the doggone MREs and it tastes like garbage. All right. State Senate aid and Democrats are willing to change the legislation to address the administration's concerns, but that Office of Management and Budget officials hasn't requested any changes. See where I'm going with this, right? So you want to be American, so you want to be like, you know, a merchant marine or anything of that nature. That's good. Now, let's be a Marine about this. First and foremost, your commander-in-chief is stiffing workers. It's like tipping. You dine and you dash. So what better way for the government to dine and dash on federal contractors and making sure that they don't get crap? Now, of all these people that are these contractors who are missing the same amount of money or missing payments from their mortgages, their cars, their student, their kids' education, all right? But yet still, you MAGA-headed idiots out there, and I'm talking about the Mueller ain't going anywhere realist versus the Make America Goofy Again. Straight up. Come on. More than 1 million federal contract workers may have missed wages during the shutdown, according to Good Jobs Nation, a union-backed group that often advocates on behalf of contract employees. Okay? I stopped working on, say, like, you know, this private contractor crap because you can get stiffed. No matter how much work you put into it, you can get stiffed. All right? You want to know a good example? How about this? Kirby vacuum cleaners. You're paying full price for something that got used in somebody else's house, right? Wow. That's what I call a bargain. Okay. So, needless to say, Democrats have said they're not sure how the contract workers are affected, but their legislation is designed to pay companies for wages reimbursement so long as each employee wages is not amount less than $50,000 on an annualized basis. The program will be voluntary for companies. So companies can basically say, nah, we ain't got nobody here for that. But I am over 50,000, so you can pay me. And I can dole out what they call it, minimum wage to those who missed their work. So, that, you know, they'll get it all back in taxes. Come on. And if you believe that, you're a bigger fucking idiot than I am. Sheesh. Speaking of idiots, on this day of love, let's go into some lovely things here. And I think 9 times out of 10, you people will probably guess that there is a lot of love in our White House. There's a lot of love in the land of cheeseburger. Washington Post, Confederate book was open to a racist passage in a GOP congressman's office. He blamed his staff. Oh, let's see. This is one with Robert E. Lee. Okay. Yeah, okay. What does it say? It says, the views of the president on the domestic institutions of the South are truthfully and faithfully expressed in this enlightened age. There are a few, I believe, but will acknowledge that slavery as an institution is a moral and political evil in any country. It is useless to expatiate on its disadvantages. I think it however, a greater evil to the white than to the black race, and while my feelings are strongly interested on behalf of the latter, my sympathies are strongly for the former. The blacks are immeasurably better off here than in Africa, morally, socially, and physically. The painful discipline they are undergoing is necessary for their instruction as a race, and I hope will prepare and lead them to better things. How long their subjection may be necessary is known and ordered by the wise and merciful providence. Their emancipation will sooner result from a mild, and that's where the page cuts off. Okay? That was from Robert E. Lee. This is sitting in somebody's office. If there's not enough to say that people take for historical content or how they treat blacks in the White House, then they already have a whole bunch of books to tell them how to do it. Let's find out who the culprit is. Representative Drew Ferguson of Georgia. Doesn't strike me out. Okay, everybody in Charlottesville, Virginia, please take down that Robert E. Lee statue in front of the University of Virginia. Burn it, destroy it, egg it. I don't care. Put googly eyes on it. Something to let you know that that man was a racist bastard. That's your heritage. Okay? Okay, now, Drew Ferguson has removed from his office the biography of Robert E. Lee, which previously displayed there under a glass case and open to a page highlighting the Confederate general's racist ideology. In a statement in the Washington Post, Ferguson, who occupies one of his party's top posts in the House, blamed the book presence on his staff, who he said decorated his office. Who asked for your... No, wait a minute. First and foremost, stop lying. Stop lying. You had them, you picked out the stuff you wanted to go in your office. Just like Ben Carlson, who pays $30,000 for what? Some sort of living room set or dinette set or coffee table or whatever the hell it was to go in his office? Taxpayer money? Yeah. It's not the fact that Cheeseburger picked the wrong people. It's just that Cheeseburger just wants a whole bunch of loyalty behind it. And this jackass right here, oh yeah, Drew Ferguson, you are an ultimate jackass. For real. So therefore, the book entitled General Robert E. Lee, Soldier, Citizen, and Christian Patriot. The blacks are immeasurably better off here than they were in Africa, morally, socially, and physically. Their painful discipline they are undergoing is necessary for their instruction as a race. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. As a kid, when I used to get my ass beat for stupid shit, trust and believe, that did not deter me from the path that I'm on right now. Okay? Once a rebel, born a rebel, once a rebel, stay a rebel, die a rebel. Straight up. All right? And I rebel against those who bring hell. This Black History Month. Or the Black Mystery Month for the most part, because everybody's all concerned about what Cardi B was wearing on the damn floor. Dumbass. All right? Anyway, James Miller, representative of AFGE Local 5 of 54, and one of Ferguson's constituents, was in the group that spotted the book at his congressman's office and said he was, quote unquote, at a loss for words when he saw it. As a black man and constituent, a Republican constituent, a black Republican constituent, all right? I can say that nothing makes you feel more unwelcome in your own member of Congress's office than seeing such racist memorabilia. Well, la-dee-dum, hold up. James Miller, I don't know if you're gonna get this or not, but excuse me. What part of racist did you not realize that you were stepping into when you went Republican, you idiot? I mean, come on. Georgia, come on. KKK, all that crap and everything, right? Stone Mountain, right? Heritage of the South. Yes, the South will rise again. Yes, when it learns how to make its own damn food and stop stealing food and recipes for black people to make restaurants from. God! Congressman Ferguson needs to take accountability for what's displayed and presented in the taxpayer-funded office, says J. David Cox Sr., the union's national president, in the statement. This offensive book that's open to specific pages and displayed in a glass case does not haphazardly appear. Someone intentionally displayed the book, and this despicable speech was intentionally placed. Dude, okay, you bring a book like that into the White House, and you think nobody's going to see it and say shit. But you purposely had it, and you will blame it on staff. Come on! You're taking a page out of Cheeseburger's liability book. Liability. Dyslexia, ability to lie. Halfway point, people. This is the KTNG Morning Show. That's right. And of course, if you are watching on YouTube, as we like to say it, then you can actually see what we do. Become a supporter, and therefore, most importantly, get a mug. You gotta get a mug. Okay, gotta get a mug. Real cheap, people. Real cheap. They're real cheap. All right. But nonetheless, I also wrote a book called The Iron Tree. And this is a pretty good book about perseverance, survival, and the reason why the black man actually made it to the credits at the end of the book. All right, so that's always a good thing. Now, on YouTube, you can actually see the tree, the mug, and two other books here, The Art of Eve and Happier Than a Big Bowl of Oranges. Say that to around girls who are not expecting it, boy, it gets a smile out of them every time. That's right, sunny on the inside, sunny on the outside. Yeah, with a knife stuck in my head, guess what it was about? Anyway. Back on track, page 2. Now, speaking of the KKK and everybody else and so forth, there happens to be a great confidence in stupidity. Again, America loves its stupidity because it's the only thing that brings in the money, doesn't it? Of course it does. Of course it does. And what better way than to know that we have racist, well, come on. Republicans are downright racist. Look at Mike Pence. That man is so racist, he had white hair before he got into Congress. Before he became a vice president. Okay? That's some scary crap. All he's missing is the rest of the sheet and 2 holes in his mouth. 2 holes. No, make that 3 holes for his eyes and his mouth. Right? Anyway. Sorry, y'all. I'm hungry. I gotta eat. I gotta sit here and starve to death because people want me to. But y'all hear me though. All right, now we get to the part where we wait for this doggone thing to actually do it. I mean, come on. You're a Senate congressman, you're a congressman. You have constituents within your district that are both black, white, Mexican, and God knows what else. A few Asians here and there who managed to escape the feudism that goes on around that out in the Asian Pacific. But nonetheless, when your constituents walk into your office and find you got racist memorabilia or some sort of, identification that you believe in the crap, then 9 times out of 10, all you're doing is perpetrating the whole schism and keeping racism as a foundation for this country, which means nobody wins. Dude, don't they? Akil Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Oh, here we go. There we go. Now, trending from out of BuzzFeed. Okay. Remember how there used to be mad stories called Florida Man? Now they got a new one. As Hulk has She-Hulk, Florida Man has Florida Woman. And we even got a picture of him. I'm gonna put a meme. I'm gonna make a meme out of this racist bitch in a minute. Straight up and down. Quote unquote from out of BuzzFeed, quote unquote, my KKK friends will burn your family. A Florida woman went on a racist rant against a black officer. Black cop, black cop, black cop, black cop. Now, Florida woman was recorded going on a racist and violent rant against a black officer after he arrested her for drunk driving. Okay? Now, what are the odds? What are the odds that this is somebody in their middle ages, okay, who had what is known as a nervous breakdown? Okay? They had an epiphanic nervous breakdown. Or better yet, they're going through some sort of change in their life. How many 50-year-olds out there right about now are still acting stupid? Here's one. Juliet was 53, told Volusia County Sheriff's Office deputy Brandon King that her KKK friends would burn his family and that the niggas should never have been left out of slavery. Let me repeat that for you on Black History Month. Julie Edwards, 53, told Volusia County Sheriff's Office deputy Brandon King that her KKK friends would burn his family and that niggas should have never been let out of slavery. Who else was that in Congress that said that slavery was good for black people? Oh, that's right. Kanye West. Dumbass. She's facing the charges of making threats against a law enforcement officer, resisting the officer without violence, driving under the influence, and prior refusals to submit to testing. Okay? Now, responding to a report of the disturbance at the house of Dylan Fleur, King arrived to find Edwards trying to leave the party in her black Lexus. Wow. I guess being an elite makes you kind of like above the law. So if, and this is in perspective here. If you're elite and white, you cannot be stopped by anybody that has, you know, an office or power that questions you. Such as, you know, Representative Omar, and Anna Omar, who questioned the same jackass who worked for the Bush administration, who's also the same jackass who sent mercenaries into El Salvador to not only murder 800 people, women and children under the age of 2, but rape 12-year-old girls. Yet, he has the audacity to tell Representative Omar that this is a personal attack. You know something? That is elitism. And for those who sat there in Georgia and listened to that crazed campaign speech from Cheeseburger during the midterms about we are the elites, then you fit the pot, don't you? That bozo got pardoned by freaking Bush. He was supposed to skulk out of the doggone White House, but never did. Just hung around like a bad doo-doo stain in somebody's underwear. Right? So that it gets even funnier. Okay, it gets even funnier. And needless to say, okay, that one's gone. Where did he go? This happens all the time, people. I am approximately 13.3 miles away from NORAD, North American Air Defense. They have a nice facility on the inside of that mountain. I mean, if some of you have watched Stargate before, you'll notice that it's the Cheyenne Mountain. And that's that way. That's that way. Okay, so obviously I am having issues here because we have high winds, and high winds out here makes our service a little bit iffy at best. So I do apologize for that. Technical things go on here on a day-to-day basis. And therefore, nonetheless, I am stuck doing it that way. But you know something? I am not without resources. Bam! Okay, so let me look back up here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, I want to get to that one. Because it also means that in many cases, a lot of times people don't realize that that there is laughter in all of this. It really is. There's laughter in all of this. And wow, they're blocking my news feeds. Great. Okay. You know, kind of interesting, but that you guys understand this. But there are repercussions. Now, the repercussions I read earlier today consist of people breaking the law, people with power breaking the law. Okay, that sort of thing. Now, where is it? Where I know he's in. I know it's in. Okay, I know it's in here. Yeah. Ah, here we go. Probably one of the biggest reasons. Whenever Cheeseburger, if you ever noticed it, whenever Cheeseburger loses on something, you got white people that basically lose their damn mind. They go out and commit some sort of acts in order for them to get attention, show their disdain, especially in Black History Month. How about this for Black History Month? It seemed like an execution. Officers opened fire on a man asleep in car. Family of a young Bay Area rapper who was killed when police officers opened fire after he had fallen asleep in his car is demanding a release of police body cam footage and questioning whether deadly force was justified. You sleeping in your car and you get blasted on, guess what? Yes, deadly force was applied. Okay, so police in Vallejo, California said the news release that 6 officers 6 officers shot multiple rounds at Willie McCoy 20 in the span of 4 seconds during an incident Saturday night in a Taco Bell parking lot. It's unclear how many bullets struck McCoy, but his family said that they believe 20 may have hit his car based on the number of holes that witnesses encountered at the scene. It seemed like an execution. McCoy's cousin and manager, David Harrison, said Wednesday, "It looks like my baby cousin was executed by a firing squad." The Vallejo Police Department said it was working with the Solano County District Attorney's Office to investigate the shooting. The latest in the department that in recent years have been criticized for excessive use of force and a subject of civil rights complaints. Of course, this is going to be swept under the rug. This is going to be swept under the rug because, for one thing, it is a necessary duty, as Robert E. Lee would say, that Negroes go through such pain and subjugated torture in order to learn to grow in such a violent-ass country. Wow. I'm glad that work. I'm glad it's working out for you guys. I'm glad it's working out for people. I'm really glad. Okay, I'm really glad. I'm really glad that it seems to be working out for a whole bunch of crap. All right. So here it was. The officers began fearing for their safety and fired their weapons. They continued to yell commands at the driver, who then reached through the broken window to unlock his door, and began life-saving efforts. McCoy was pronounced dead at the scene. Okay, Harrison said he has questions about the officers who were positioned when they shot his cousin, and whether they saw him reach for a gun. A preliminary investigation found a fully loaded .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun with an extended magazine clip, which had been reported stolen out of Oregon. Plant. Come on, people. Come on. You're gonna plant evidence on somebody like that. Y'all gotta do better. A gun that's stolen out of Oregon makes its way down to, California. Really? So, in order for, and if we do background checks strategically, I just want to dig here a little bit. If we do background checks strategically, it takes anywhere from like 3 to 4 months to even get that, But they have stopped, they basically stopped, allowing these sort of guns to be stolen out of Oregon. Sleep in the car. Officers fearing for their life. 2 out of 3 basically just don't add up. On the night he was killed, Harrison added, and this is his older brother, he had gone to Taco Bell for a bite to eat and was so exhausted he fell asleep. Okay? Also, he's been splitting time between family in Vallejo and Oakland. So, therefore, lawmakers in California have pursued legislation that would set rules when police can use deadly force and instead seek non-lethal alternatives to de-escalate the situation. First of all, let's get rid of the racist dog targets that you got in your shooting. Many of them will look like Mexican, and a lot of them are black. Okay? Okay? It's crazy. Straight crazy. But then again, I mean, come on, it's the norm. The norm. It is the norm. It is the norm. It is a total norm that in this country we allow this crap to continue on a day-to-day basis. We allow this crap to continue on a month-to-month basis, decade to decade, one generation after another. Racial profiling, brutality, murder. You already heard what happened to homeboy that did LaShawn McDonald, okay? That idiot got his ass beat in prison. He's got 5 more years to go. Pretty sure he's going to get an ass beating every day until they put him in, solitary, because he's going to be what they call a risk, a serious risk. So, if anything, oh, where are you? Oh, wait a minute. That's right. It's. Damn it. These are good stories too, man. I love this. No, I don't want to talk about no damn reality star. Alright, so that section's done. Now, what the hell is this? Okay. Anyway, focus on this is basically to let you know that as long as Cheeseburger remains in office, as long as his totalitarian base is there, long as there are people out there willing to give him more than a benefit of the doubt, they are going to follow this fool to hell and back. You don't have to go far. But keep in mind, people, from every white president that's ever ran this damn country, I'd say about 98% of them have their souls burning in hell right about now. They weren't men of great constitution. No, they were racist. What better racist can you actually see in the one that's actually trying to destroy the country? I mean, come on. In Italy, around the world, everybody knows that anybody with power that can economically sack an entire world single-handedly, that's power. And the man's doing it. Come on. The man's doing it. Right now, we're looking at somebody trying to take their monkey asses into Venezuela. Okay? I don't really care about Venezuela at this particular point because 9 times out of 10, you guys are selling out to give Guaido the position of the position that Maduro had. Okay, everybody sits there and say, "Oh, Hugo Chavez this, Maduro that, and blah 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 blah," and this type of political system is not working. The only reason why it didn't work is because they stood with the Palestinians. And a lot of you don't realize that there are black Palestinians who are racially discriminated against normal Arab Palestinians. Kind of funny though. How can all these little states and countries reside in Africa and y'all act like this, like a bunch of white supremacists? I have to give it up to Israel for as long as America is that welfare tit that Israel is sucking on right about now. Get away with all kinds of Zionist problems, discrepancies. Oh yeah, whoa, just knocking stuff all over the place. Lovely. Banana. But about love. You can't just focus on hate all the damn time. No, no, no. Oh. Ha ha. Yeah. So, there's a cat in Kenya who is like the police chief. Now, if we had the type of laws that Nigeria has when it comes up to, like, you know, human rights and civil rights, innocent people, you know, brutally profiled or in custody or simply murdered, it would be a different story. Police officers then would actually curb their crap. Okay? But it's all the same. It's all the same. Damn, sorry. You know something? God. Okay. We get. So that one, yeah! There we go. Since it is a loving day, retired Nigerian police officer sentenced to death for killing wife for ritual. Now, in Nigeria, they got money rituals as well. They got money rituals. So if you get hit up with a Nigerian check scam or money scam or anything of that nature, or if somebody's like trying to get you to fall in love with them, to like actually like, you know, send money to, read between the lines and understand the context that is being spelled. For those people who have limited English, 9 times out of 10 cannot talk to you properly. Okay? Nigeria's Supreme Court on Friday affirmed the death sentence passed on Usman Maigari, former policeman, for killing his wife Sa'adatu. Delivering judgment, Justice Mary Peter Odili, held that the appellate's appeal lacked merit. In conclusion, therefore, I have to state that this appeal lacks merit and I dismiss it. I affirm the judgment of the Court of Appeals, which affirms the decision, conviction, and sentence of the appellant for culpable homicide punishable by death. I order that the sentence be passed by the trial high court be carried out. Wow. So you mean to tell me if you're a one-legged, you know, Olympic runner, you can shoot your wife with a shotgun and never go to jail, right? Really? I mean, if cops were basically sent to prison for humane reasons, putting population for humane reasons, but the funny part. Here's the funny part. I have to say, I choke on this. If cops were basically given the threat of death, okay? If given the threat of death, they would probably be a lot more easier to work with when it comes to saying, like, I don't know, policing the neighborhood, using alternative means to access, and more importantly, to be a little bit more humane. More so humane than the crap that's happening down at the southern part of the border. Okay? So, I don't know. But I do. It is a load of garbage here. Hold up. Got it in here. Could have got it in here because I want. Anyway, if all of you guys, okay, now this is all about love here, but I want to get this right. Oh, okay. Guess they took the story away from me. Anyway, if you're out there looking for love in all the wrong places and so forth, don't do it on technology. Because the old-fashioned way is to meet somebody either in a laundromat or a vegetable garden. Oh my God. That's funny to me. But places, okay. It's a multi-million dollar scam. It really is. So for people that are thirsty, by all means, denial is going to be the biggest claim in that whole mess. But no one should go throughout their life alone. Unless you're an aggravated junkie who seems nothing better fit to sit up and argue about every petty little thing. Damn, I am so glad to be free. Glad to be free. I don't want no junkies. I don't want nothing that has anything to do with lying. I don't want to have anything to do with the false ramifications that you cannot be who you are. That's why I tell most of my dates, be you. If you don't know how to be you and you start acting like a fucking fool, trust and believe me, I will get up and walk. Quick. I don't have time for it. I don't. I really don't. Anyway, we're in the midst of this, people. So let's wrap all this up into one summary. Cheeseburger lost again. Republicans are hiding racist material within the White House itself. Most importantly, black people are still being murdered by white policemen. And in Black History Month, the only thing that seems like justice is putting a cop behind bars for 6 years, while across the continent, across the world, over the ocean, over the Great Pond, one officer goes to the death penalty for his extreme murder of his own wife. Amazing. Well, that concludes that theory. I guess in the overall sense of it, you gotta look at it in a more interesting way, or in a perspective way. Okay? Key to this and understanding is all the same. It's all the same. If you do not know how to treat people like human beings, don't expect people to treat you any different. If you don't know how to talk to human beings, guess what? Nobody will talk to you. If you de-evolve your speech patterns just to make sure that you're like using some sort of slang to confuse people or to make something really different, good grief. Make sure that Webster's Dictionary can put it in there so the rest of us nerds can read it. Anyway, let's say good morning to everybody. That's right, let's say good morning. Points were made, people. We got to stand up against all this tyranny and fascism that is exploding from out of our own country. United States, and we're responsible for that. We don't stand up for ourselves. We're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, and that is defy everything. Defy everything that has a mode of destroying your culture, a mode, and a will to destroy who you are as an individual because you are associated with that culture. Right? Understand this, people. Government does not give a damn about you. What's the best way? And the best way to do that is to protest. Now, I'm gonna give an extra shout out to my Kaepernick, who's become a very seminal figure here in Black History Month, because the store that boycotted his image or boycotted Nike is going out of business. Womp womp. Now, Nike needs to do better, especially Jordan. Stop selling your shoes in the hood. Turn some of that money that you're getting off of those shoes into something that will benefit those people in the hood. Oh, that's right. LeBron James beat you to it. Good morning, Brenda Ika Perkins. Love you, babies. Rodney White, what's happening? Hakan Aktun. Salam alaikum, my brother. Good morning. Jen Hibbert, good morning with your crazy self. Gypsy Blue, I can see you in a minute. Let's see. Miller Hemp Reggae, good morning. All righty. Jay-Z, good morning. Ha ha ha. Jay Kwan, good morning. Victor Enoch Vandes, good morning. Marilyn Reyes, good morning. Let's see. Walter Wiswadi, good morning. He's got a job and he's looking all good. He's got attention problems. Okay. Angelique Marie Monet, good morning. Let's see, who else we got here? Backside. Dang, I am just having serious issues with this. Let's see who's on the backside. It's always Thursday like that. It's always on the backside. Oh, yeah. I'm just... Banana. Sullivan Walker, good morning. Also, Gloria Medina, good morning. Raquel Delgado, good morning. Zenaida Ortiz, good morning. Rashim Johnson, good morning. Amir Zaki, good morning. Jay Meeks, good morning. James Anthony Iwin, good morning. Lena Shockley, good morning. Gloria Anderson, good morning. MC Pros, good morning. Lucella Testa, I'm sorry. Good morning. Manny Gonzalez Arena, good morning. Kevin Hickman Sr., good morning. Long time no see. Taguchi Nakakao, good morning. Let's see. Yato Eto, good morning. Boogaloo King, what's happening? Also, Manny Gonzalez, look, I already said that already. Mr. Marvelous Covington, good morning. Manny Gonzalez, good morning. Again, dude, you're all over the freaking place on the back page here. Okay. Napoleon Couscous, good morning. Larak, good morning. Also, good morning to Yuga Matsuri in Japan, good morning. Domo Domo. China, good morning. Ni hao. My people in Nairobi, not Nigeria, good morning. You people in Ghana, stop with the scams. They're looking at you. Okay? Also, good morning to like all my people in Compton, all my people in Los Angeles, all my peoples, okay, in New Jersey, New York, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Texas, Seattle, Washington, Tom Bacon, good morning. Man synonymous with world domination. Okay? And last but not least, to my woe-begotten niece who does not share her phone number with her least desirable uncle. I mean, when black sheep roll down the hill, it's all about rolling down the hill. I mean, good grief. Jason Anthony, good morning. Talking about cops, my God. My man says, cops don't like it when they tell you to put your hands up in the air. Then you wave them like you just don't care. Silly. But this is my joking doppelganger. He runs a show in Brooklyn, Red Lake Radio. Check it out. Good stuff. Good stuff. My Princess Sankova Cigar, good morning. Okay. Oh, yeah. I know that one. Dan Swartz, good morning. Right-wing blowhards are having a tough time with this whole women in power thing in Congress because they're old white men who have nothing better else to do than to fuck everything up for their own interest. Donna Miguel, good morning. Hey, that's right. Never mind. Anyway, we got to get out of here, people. And that means only one thing. Get out there, be a human being. Listen to those who may have a small burden and help them lift their burden and show them that you can put a smile on their face. When you do that, you show that happiness exists between each other, therefore sharing the experience of what we call humanity. So many people try to be human, lack the ability of being a human being. So therefore, as we say here at KTNG 868am.org, 501c status nonprofit, love, peace, and chicken grease. All power to the people. All people. Purpose. Know your purpose. Stay lost. Because the black race can't afford you no more. Word. Peace.